10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Did that scare you?
Spooky.
Do you protect your brain cells?
Well, no, I didn't have it on. Thanks for reminding me now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're starting to show off with the bang. Shots fired.
If I had long hair, I'd be headbanging right now. Okay, just let you know that.
Right. Yeah, I'm having a little problem with part of my system because I ended up taking it to Townsend, Tennessee with me this weekend. So I had to hurry up and throw it back together again because I just got in an hour ago. And yeah, I'm trying to make sure everything's working, and that wasn't. So I'm
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Good. That's all that matters then. Hey, we're good with that.
I'm trying to talk and chat and this thing ain't working. I'm like, what?
Just get used to saying, yes, Randy, you're right. Yes, Randy, you're right. Yes, Randy, you're right.
Your wife doesn't even do that.
Not even close.
But I had a really good time.
Yeah.
The weather was kind of I got in like probably 12:30 Saturday morning. And I didn't get to see any mountains. I didn't get to see nothing. It was pitch black out there while I'm trying to drive in. Didn't see a darn thing. And I'm thinking, okay, okay. I'll see the mountains in the morning. It'll be fine. So I wake up, we get ready, we're putting all the stuff in. I look around at the mountains. Guess what? The fog is so thick and so low, can't see any mountains. I said, what in the heck is going on?
I love them Smoky Mountains.
I know. So, throughout the day, it got warmer. The rain kind of tapered off, and it got warmer, and it was sunny for a little bit. And then, I could see a little bit from where I was at. And then the wind started kicking up, and we couldn't keep anything on our table to save our lives. It was throwing off computers, phones, everything. It's like if we thought we were going to go live on a podcast, we weren't getting nothing. Nothing was happening. Yeah, I'm sorry. Because we meant to go and do a show, and we really couldn't even get it together. It's just we couldn't get the weather to cooperate. So this morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait a little bit till the sun comes up, and then I'm going to take off. I'm going to see, a little bit, of the Smoky Mountains and stuff. And so I'm going down because you come in and you park at an angle, but you got to go all the way to the back of this lovely hotel.
Yeah.
All the way at the end, and then turn around and come right back out. Anyway, I'm not going to name this hotel. It could use some updating. I'm just saying I couldn't even sit on the toilet. I had to sit on it sideways. Because the sink was in the way. Okay. And then that. Right. And then, the shower was so small. Yeah. And no water pressure. I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. I can deal with that. But anyway, so I went down and I went to turn around, and I see this sign at the back of the property that says steps down. I was like, steps down? What? Steps down, and they have all these little cabins out there, but it looks like, them little storage sheds you get from, the down the street. Well, they have these little storage sheds, and I'm thinking, oh God. So I decided to walk down where it steps down. When I started walking down those stairs, there is a beautiful river that is just babbling and just going through. The sound was just so nice. And I was thinking, Jesus, this is beautiful. I wouldn't have even known that if I hadn't have drove back there to turn around. And so I walked down there, spent a few minutes down there, and it was just beautiful. And on the way back, yeah. And I was like, man, you miss a lot if you don't stop and stare at something for a minute. People are getting in too much of a hurry nowadays, and they're not stopping to look. Everybody's in a hurry to get home or get to work, and I'm like, not today, not for me. So then on my way home, there's a Buc-ee's, everybody. There's a Buc-ee's on my way home on I-40. She got a new hat. She got a new hat today.
You got a Buc-ee's.
She's a happy. She's a
I got
happy
a Buc-ee's
person.
hat. I am happier than happy today. Hey, Smoky Mountain Wanderer. I met him yesterday.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
there you go.
Hey.
Yep.
He helped.
Hey,
he can say that he helped us hold the fort down. Literally, we were holding it down.
This was outside of Knoxville.
Yes. It's by Knoxville. Yeah.
Cool.
And I mean, I'm
Fort
like,
Campbell, I'm
holy
going to
cow!
flashbacks.
Right. So I had to go to Buc-ee's. I did the Buc-ee's thing. Found a hat. I was happy. And then, I just drove home, and I'm like, I'm going to be home in time to do the show. Then I got to unload the car, and then I forgot that pair with the Norm, Mary Lynn and Mike Stuff. I said, hey, you're coming to the conference in, September. I will just take your stuff with you, because they were just going to leave it by the trash can. And I'm talking about a tent, chairs, table. I said, oh no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No. So I said, you may have a friend or two, maybe a spider or two come September in those boxes, but I'll bring them to you.
Yeah, there you go. Heck yeah.
So I had to unload all their stuff into the garage, and I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll dust it off when it comes September. It'll be great.
If you see a little black spider in there, don't worry about it. Just kick it off to the side. It'll be okay.
Yeah, just give it a little squish. It'll be fine.
But it sounds like it was a fun time. I mean, the pictures y'all were posting looked like it was a real good time.
The weather, it was probably the worst part of it. That was the worst part of it, the weather. But, getting to meet people and actually putting faces to the, YouTube names, fabulous. So now when I see you, I'm like, hey, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, seeing everybody's favorite wild Brit.
Right. And so we were
Mr. Davies.
Yeah, we saw Mr. Davies. We were also handing out the flyers for our conference and talking to him about that. And everybody's
speaking of which, there you go. Keep talking.
Anyway, so this is the 19th and 20th Crossing Realms Conference. This is going to be at the Eagleton Civic Center in Richmond, Missouri. So, go to Eventbrite. Check it out. If you want to be a vendor, we have plenty of vendor spots available. It will be an outside event. Speakers will be inside. But don't forget, we also have a gallery reading with Miss Mary Lynn Bass, the one I was just talking about having all of her stuff. Yep. She will be there. We've got a meet and greet Friday night with speakers. Then we're going to have a premiere of a documentary from Chris Garantano. I mean, we just have a lot of stuff going on. So, if you can get there. This is going to be it, because I was looking at our speakers list, and we have a lot of the same speakers that they did at this Bigfoot, the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival. I was
a lot of friends going on there.
I said, that's when you got friends.
Yeah.
That's when you got a lot of friends.
100%.
And I did tell Adam, I said, I'm sorry, we didn't invite you to our conference. And Krista said, yeah, Adam, we couldn't afford you. Maybe when we grow up.
Yeah, if we're ever lucky enough to do that.
She said, but you're still welcome to come, hitch a ride with Greg Ogles, and you can still come. I mean, we just can't afford to pay you to speak. That's all.
Right.
There you go. But
so, and there was a lot of networking with new documentaries that are in the works, and we were talking about all of that, and getting to see a preview for Greg Ogle's new one that is coming out. It'll probably be out next year. He's getting ready to start another one probably late this fall, and I mean, it was great. It was absolutely. Martin Groves came out to dinner with us last night, and it was just a lot of fun. Just really dug it. It was a good time.
It sounds like it was a great time all the way around.
It was. I enjoyed it. I did.
Yeah,
I like
we'll
that.
We'll have to make our presence known next year.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. We needed Podcaster Row to be a lot bigger.
Oh, really? That bad?
Yeah. I think a lot of them backed out because of the weather. Only us hardcore people showed up. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll just make a whole Podcast Row. The Misfits. We're there.
Yeah.
We'll be all over there.
Working on that. We're working on that whole Misfit toy thing. We're working on it. It's coming.
I know.
It's coming.
It's coming. So I think we should just do a whole row of just us, and we can podcast all day long.
No, I don't like people enough to do that. Put me over there with some animals. I'll be okay. Put me with a llama. I'll sit with a llama all day long. Watch me.
There are a lot of dogs.
I'll be good with the dogs, as long as they ain't trying to be the leader of the pack. I'll put them in the cone of shame.
Right. All right. Well, let's get to our top 10 now.
Yeah.
I asked Randy. I said, "Hey, are these some of the ones that we, our top 10 worst and best, or what are we talking about?" And he said, "These are the ones that we were kind of stumped on, but we really, really liked them, and we had long discussions about these. So these are going to be our favorites, our top 10 favorites." And he said he was very sorry, but
I don't care what anybody says.
Film did not make it.
Patterson-Gimlin did not make it because it's out there for everybody already. Everybody's done everything over it. I can't add anything to it, and I can't take anything away from it. So
that's right.
While it is a personal favorite, this is for this show alone.
It is a favorite. It is a favorite. Yeah. But we can't do anything with that one. We love it, but we can't do anything with it. So this is stuff that we've actually done stuff with, looked at it, talked about it. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm going to start with number 10. Obviously, we're going to go full-blown David Letterman. It's going to be a quickie, kind of really, because we all know this one already, and we literally have, I don't know how many times we've looked. We only looked at it once on our show, though. But we've got the Paul Freeman footage, okay?
Yeah.
Now, this one right here, this is just a still from it right here that we're looking at. And let me go ahead and zoom this in a little bit more so everybody can see. This is one of the frames where he first sees it and everything. And I'll bring up the video here in a couple of minutes. But this one was one of those that we looked at it first. We're like, okay, it's just kind of, and every time I saw it before we actually dove into it, it just kind of, something didn't feel right. Then I started reading about the man himself. Then I started reading about some of the stuff he was doing. And I was like, this man could not have done a whole lot to make this video. And when we hear the video, you can hear he's obviously winded. He's obviously doing a lot more than he probably should be doing, being as he dies later from diabetes. And it sounds like he's been a chain smoker for the majority of his life. So...
yeah, I mean, when we look at this, I mean, you can tell something doesn't look right. I mean, it does not look right. That's the whole thing. No. That's what was stumping us, was this picture itself.
Yeah, 100%. Because we didn't know for sure what we were actually going to be looking at. We really didn't.
No.
And that was one of those that was just like, how do I sit there and put that for somebody, and tell somebody that when I can't really put my finger on what it is that's wrong? And it's such low quality. Honestly, it's really low quality. If you want to get right down to it, it really is.
Absolutely.
But as I'm sitting there looking at the picture and I'm watching the video, don't get me wrong, watching the video as well, the movement is so intense. I shouldn't say like that, but it's very intent on what it is doing. You know what I mean? The figure in the video is intent on what it's doing, and it's trying to just, hey, it knows you're there. It knew you were there long before you got to that point to start with. So if we're to assume this is real, which I still think it is, actually.
Tex, have you seen this video yet?
Yeah, I have. And you talk about. In fact, I'm watching it right now.
I'm about to bring it up here too. So,
how are you?
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead and finish those. I mean.
But you're talking about the quality of the footage. Well, it was in 1994.
Yeah, exactly. So It was a
I mean,
video cassette, I think, too. So I mean,
which honestly works in the footage's favor because
no,
it's not digital.
no, not in any way, shape, or form. And
Yeah.
The way the sunlight, just in this one shot, you see the sun coming off the right side of all the trees and such, and it's reflecting off its back like it should do.
Right.
So could it be somebody in a suit? Yeah, but that's a big somebody, honestly.
Yeah.
To me, that looks like a very big somebody.
Yeah.
The
When
only
I
thing I
saw
would
this,
like to
I
see-
was questioning it. This
Yeah.
frame. I was questioning this
What'd you
until
like
I
to
saw
see?
the video.
I would have liked to seen possibly a recreation, but definitely some measurements taken.
Yeah.
You know,
And I can't remember if Finding Bigfoot did that, because I thought they did one where Bobo actually went down and actually tried to recreate the steps in the same spot. Because this was in the Blue Mountains, I think it was, up in Washington State or Oregon. I can't remember which one it was. It was, I'll tell you real quick, it was the Blue Mountains region in northeastern Oregon. That's what it was. So, I mean, the way I understood it, when he did it, he only came to about right here with that tree. Now you're talking 20 years after the fact, probably at a minimum. So that tree may not even be the same size as it was then. But in fact, I bet money that it isn't. But still, just that much of a difference in Bobo's what, 6'4", something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So this thing is pretty good size compared to him, the way it looks. Okay. So Nemo, you're right. Yeah, it does look like a Rorschach test right there.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can get this thing to go here. I'm gonna pull this one back, and I'm gonna bring up the actual the video now, because that video is the one where I can actually kind of give you a better feel of it, if I can get it to actually zoom in like I want it to. Let's put it that way. All right, so we're going to do that, and we're going to change my video here so we can zoom it to Phil. There we go. Now we can see it a little bit better. Tell me if y'all can hear it.
No.
Nope. Okay, we're going to pull it back again then. We're going to remove that. We're going to stop that, and I'm going to reshare it so I make sure I hit the right button and make sure it gives me the actual sound.
You got to love live streams.
Oh, man, I got to share. Got to share tab. Unfortunately, it won't let me do it unless I share the entire live stream, so let's do it this way. We're going to share the screen this way. I hope. I really hope. This is the problem of not having an actual dual monitor anymore. I can't share screen as easy.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, here we go. I will hopefully not have an issue here. Stress that. Maybe not. Here we go. Now y'all ready?
All right.
How about now?
I don't hear anything.
Nothing?
No.
Well, that's okay. Let's just focus on what we're looking at, though.
Okay. I mean, I'm hearing him too, and this dude is literally, he is out of shape sounding. He sounds so winded, it's not even funny.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But if you just take out the sound and look at his camera abilities at that point, you can tell that he's shaken here. You can see that
he's already worked
he
out.
watches it and he comes down and he's like trying to see with his eye, trying to see through the camera to see if it's there. And that's one of the big major mistakes, y'all. If you're out there with a video camera or anything else, do not look through the viewfinder and try to see your object. Try to just do it as best as you can, because once you focus in on that viewfinder, you try to look up, you've done lost your target.
And see, here's
Yeah.
where I wanted to look at this one frame right here where it looks up at him. Okay. I mean, it's just barely one frame there that he does it. See how he twists that head back up?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that would be a, how can I put it? I don't know that would be the actual, an actual person doing that, because it's too easy to pick up a mask that way. You know what I mean? But once again, like Tex was saying, we're talking 1994.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that look up, I mean, it looks fluid and it looks animalistic to me, shall we say. So
It behaves like any other thing that, if I saw it walking, it may do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not, it's acting very normal, not out of the ordinary, just going about its business.
100%. So now for me to actually look, I've got to stop sharing it again now so I can actually look back at the screen and say hi to you guys again.
There you go. There you go. Hey.
The only issue I have with it
Uh-huh.
is how much it has to look down like this
Where it's stepping.
when, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the only issue I have with it, because
You
if
would
you're wearing
think.
a mask,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't just, you can't just use your eyes. You have to,
No.
and
Oh,
that's
I'm
the
with you
only issue I have.
100%. I'm with you 100% on that. That's 100% correct. I mean, that's just you see him looking down, and he is intent on. That's why I was saying the intentness of his movement and stuff. But you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's wearing a mask, he's trying to make sure his depth perception where he's not going to step where he's going to fall his butt over either. So,
Right.
yeah, I could see where that would come into play as well. So that's why that one's at number 10.
Yeah, well, the other thing on that too is, if you ever watch me when I'm walking, I'm looking down, not like crazy down, but I'm looking down all the time.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't do that, but I'm always trying to make sure of where I'm stepping, and
Yeah.
I'm looking out for slithery things, that could bite me.
Oh yeah. Never can
Well,
tell.
think
And don't
about,
want anything
Brandy,
to crawl up your legs.
think back about the one we saw.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do that.
No, it flowed when it walked. It was just smooth.
Yeah, pretty
it
sure-footed,
didn't-
right?
It didn't have this up and down
Yeah.
movement.
So it pretty much, it was sure-footed. Yeah. Which any animal out there would be, I think, be sure-footed.
And that's and that was in the dark.
Yeah.
And sure-footed like that. So yeah.
Like I say, that one's reason it's number 10 is because, like I say, it's still way up there for conjecture by a lot of people. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
What's next? Number 9.
We're gonna go number 9. Number 9. You'll
9.
remember this one. You'll remember this one, Brandy.
I love this one.
Yes. This one right here. It was.
I know it has a big old arrow.
Yeah, it was part of one of our Red Circle Sundays.
Yeah, but there's a lot going on in this picture, so I could see where they would point the arrow, because if you weren't looking, you would just not see it because of all the other people out there. You would just not see it.
And
during
this
write
one,
it off. I mean, it looks like just a person standing out there by the
and
wreck
anybody
site.
would have. Anybody
Yes.
would have, but that guy was not there, because that's what I thought at first. I figured it was just a misidentification. And we spent 30 minutes going over this photo because somebody in the chat had seen it on the actual news replay, and somebody had shown it. This was happening in Ohio, if I remember right, somewhere right outside Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But we're sitting there, and as we zoom in, he don't belong.
Yeah, we even went as far as to the newsreel.
Yeah, we found the newsreel for it. And now they didn't have the
He
red.
looks like
the
he's
red
wearing
arrow.
a trench coat.
Yeah, and a hat, right?
And a hat.
Yeah.
that's when we were sitting there talking, because there was a fatality in this, and we were sitting there talking back and forth. Okay, this guy just came to take somebody home.
Yeah, possibly.
That's exactly what we were thinking.
Yeah, because look at him. He's like void of color.
Yeah.
Just
It's just a shadow there, really, that nobody else sees either, because these firemen are not reacting to him. This guy's not going to be standing off to the side without somebody around him in this wreck.
exactly. And it couldn't be any other first responders or anything like that, because they would be, designated by their uniform. So you'd be able to see that.
Yeah, they had the high visibility stuff on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them did. So I mean, this one ranks number 9 because, like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of actual write up for it per se. We just knew it was part of a thing, part of a wreck scene, and that we had heard about it up in Ohio. And somebody, I cannot remember who was in the actual chat that told us about it, but we think it was somewhere around Cincinnati, because I had to go out and we found the actual scene.
We
found
the actual footage on the news. Yes.
Yeah. So, and they did not even make anything of it on the news. Remember?
Nope.
Because they were like, we're not going to put that on there because people will be all bombarding us if we're not careful.
Right.
Mhm.
But that he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit there. Not in that situation.
I love that photo though. But that's a good one.
That was one of the
That's a
good
good one.
ones. So,
Yep.
all right. So now let me get that out of the way. Get that out, because that was fun. That was number 9. Now, number 9 is always fun.
Number 8.
Number 8 is another one we kind of had a little run in with a little bit, because this one, number 8. I actually got number 8 on this actual photo because I kept the numbers from the old ones and I just kept it going, because we went at this one again trying to disprove. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure we ended up more or less going, huh? Because this is a wedding ghost, is what it says. It was posted in April of 2009, okay? But it was taken in October 1972 by a professional photographer who was commissioned to take photos of guests arriving at a wedding reception for friends whose son had just got married in Paisley. Okay, I don't know where Paisley's at. Somewhere in England, I'm assuming. The photo shows this person on the left, my wife, who was pregnant at the time, and friends. Crouching behind one of the figures is the spirit extra, it says, looking toward the camera, dressed in what appears to be open-toed sandals. Now, that was more in-depth than what I originally had gotten. So I was like, looking at it closer, I was like, I don't know so much about the open-toed shoe, because I'm assuming it's this man right here, this is the pregnant lady right here, and this is their friends. As we zoom in, we can definitely tell there's something behind him.
Yeah, there's something there.
And we looked at it and we said, because I'd never noticed it. I thought it was the man's hand originally, remember? And we looked right here, like, hey, that looks like it might be a kid peeking out. I don't know about the open-toed part of it. Doesn't look like open-toed sandals to me, but I think it's just a foot but there's a leg or something behind this guy's legs right here.
Can we zoom in? Because remember when we looked really tight at that, where her arm is?
I think I've got the next one where it was digitized up and enhanced. Now, this one, I know I said I didn't really believe because of the way the eye was. I figured somebody had just done a good enhancement on it and kind of doctored it when they did it. But this matches.
We can't get over the foot.
Leg. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't get over the foot.
And I thought this still might have been a hand, with the way a ring on the hand back there, and just kind of gave us a pareidolia, but it still don't. That's a small. Well, no, the shoe should be about a little bit smaller than his, and that's about it. And that's we talked about being a big man, remember?
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know about all that face in there or anything. I mean, I can't say yes, definitely that's a face. I can't say anything like that.
Nope.
But that foot, that's a foot.
Yeah,
right there.
And we go back and we zoom into the original. You can't tell for sure if there's that there. So that tells me they had to doctor it. Coming from this photo, which we know based on the actual wrinkles and such, this was the original photo that somebody took a picture of. Okay. So this is the best real clarity you're going to get.
I still don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I think
the
somebody
foot.
wanted to pick. Yeah, the foot's there.
The
We
foot's
don't know
there.
for sure about this. We don't know for sure
Yeah.
about that part. But either way,
Yeah.
we were kind of doing it. But after we did that, we went over this thing. We went over it for about a good 15, 20 minutes, and we kept talking about it.
We did.
What should happen? What should happen? But you're going to love this one. Let me see if I can get this up, because at this time, we're going to hit number 7. Okay. Number 7, we were sitting there going back. Okay. So what we've got, it was running in the background, so I had to do that. But the next one you see is what we captured on the actual show.
Oh.
Yeah. We captured
Number
this one on the
7.
actual show. Yes, we caught number 7 on the actual
Island,
show. So
Island of Misfit Special.
Yep. And let's see here. I'm going to do this the right way again this time, I hope, so you can actually hear it, because it's got this is the one I went back and I had to isolate.
Right.
And we're going to stop that screen, and we're going to share this screen now. I hate sharing screens without having dual screen. Okay, entire screen. Yes, give me my audio this time. All right, here we go. We're going to share it, and then I'm going to make this all the way up. All right, y'all full screen now? You see it?
Yes.
All right. Listen up, because here we go. May not be a boy at all. Maybe something.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big man. That's a big man. His clothing covers up a lot.
Exactly. So, yeah. I mean, I call it a good catch.
It's a good catch.
Now, you heard that, right?
I did.
Do you remember it now?
Yes. It's more. We're like, what is that?
We're like, wait, where did that come from? Because now, guys, watch her mouth. I'm gonna back it up. Watch her mouth. She puts her hand over her face there, and I watched her lips to see if I could see anything. I mean, I literally watched it as close as I could, and I couldn't even see the breath escaping.
Yeah, that's a big man. His clothing covers up a lot.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I call it a good catch. Now, on top of that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up, once I finish doing this here. I know it's a bloody nightmare when I'm trying to do this on the full screen when I ain't got a full screen to play with. So this one, I also took and put, once I get it where I want it here. Next. We want the next one. Well, it's not going to cooperate with me. Why is it not cooperating with me? I don't like that. No bueno. Come on, electronics.
You're talking to yourself, Randy.
Now,
just talk to yourself. Let you text talk to each other for a minute. And
well, I got, because I centered on you on this one, and this is one where we centered it back on you. Okay. And I isolated it and brought you up with it. So here we go. Exactly. So, yeah. I mean, I call it a good catch.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't say a word.
There's nothing there. There's, nothing that I saw per se that even showed an exhale of some sort. Maybe a little bit of movement of it, but it's not like you went like this, go, because it didn't sound like you. And I couldn't recreate that. I couldn't recreate that with my mouth. Maybe we could recreate it with Tex's mouth. I don't know.
I don't. Tex, try it out. Can you do that?
No, that didn't work. That didn't work good. That wasn't good at all.
Yeah. No, I didn't make the sound, and I was sitting there trying to figure it out. It had me stumped for a second because I kept looking at it and looking at it and looking at it. I remember, because you're like, did you make that sound? And I said, no, I did not.
Yeah. No, you hadn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is wild. Let's think about this for a minute here.
Yeah.
But okay, so that was a good one. That I happened to stumble on it, obviously, when we were talking about it, and I was like, or when I was actually looking at it, I said, oh, we want to do those pictures there. And I was like, oh crap, wait a second, I forgot about this, and then pulled that too. So I was like, yeah, this will help out a lot.
Yes, Mrs. Adams.
Yeah, that's not an EVP, guys. That's not an EVP, guys. That's Tex wanting to belch.
That's
in
our
people's ear. Again.
That's our voiceover guy.
Yeah, that's our voiceover guy. All right, so now we're going back to pictures again.
But that was strange, though. You know, when we first brought that up and talking about him, we get that strange noise. You know, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it was. It caught both of us off guard when we heard it. So
yeah, I was like, you know, and we've heard it a lot of times about, you know, mimics and all of this other kind of stuff going on, but that didn't sound like me, and I didn't make the sound.
No,
so
not one bit. Not one
I
bit.
have no idea.
Yeah,
well, that is not the only one that we caught during the show. That's for sure.
When was that? During your show, maybe. I'm talking about our show.
No,
we're talking about
I'm
this
talking
one.
I'm talking about all of our shows. We've caught.
Oh,
Yeah.
good Lord. The
yeah.
bye-bye. I mean,
Bye-bye.
We debunked the one with Rob's on the
Yes.
late night that time. But other than that, the vast majority of them I can't debunk.
Yeah.
No. You know, and that's what you have to do, though, is basically break it down, isolate it, figure out what's happening. And then we figured out that it was a glitch in his system there that he had. Like I'm having a focusing glitch right now. I don't know what's trying to focus on, which is another weird thing because nothing is flickering behind me. I'm not really moving. It should not be trying to focus on anything else.
No, it shouldn't.
It
It
is.
should
You
be
watch
right
it.
on you. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, of course, I can't see it as well right now, obviously, because as I'm looking at it, it's a little spot over on this side of the screen. I got the other parts on this side of the screen because I don't have two screens to play with. I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to have to get another screen. That's all there is to it. So.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest part though is that it's trying to focus in on something else, and I can't figure out
what
it is.
My bet is the light behind you. I can see it kind of. Well, it looked like it kind of zoomed, and your now that you blocked it, your auto light adjust is actually working there a little bit. I see it moving.
Yeah, but it's not here. I have it on every show.
On you. Yeah, it's still focused on you though. So
yeah, I have it on every show. So it's still doing it. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Now that will happen to me quite a bit. Like if I'm in a haunted location and there is shadow play, there is that where it'll keep trying to focus on something else. But But you got to remember, I just got home and I had to throw everything all back up real quick, and I hadn't had time to get it all back in its spot. So if you see me going in and out, that's probably it.
That works for me. Just stay in or out. It's okay. Phase in this way, phase out that way.
Though. That's part of debunking, though. Yeah.
Well, what are we at? Number 6, right? We're at number 6, right?
6.
You're going to remember this one. 6. The Screaming Ghost.
Yeah.
This was a screaming ghost at the car wreck.
Because we showed this one twice.
Yes,
because
we did.
We did not have the second picture. All we had was this one.
Yeah, all we had originally was this.
Right. So, Tex, wouldn't you say, hey, probably somebody did this?
Some sort of motion blur.
Yeah, like somebody had done this. And that's what we thought. That's exactly what we thought. That somebody had tampered with the photo and put this in there.
Or just had a mistaken identity. You know, whenever they took the picture, they were moving and they caused that light blur as it's moving. So until somebody sent this one to me again, which I was like, okay, well, that's just a crop of it, whatever. Then we got that. We got the young man's name. Kind of looks a little familiar, doesn't it? And then we got the story behind the whole thing.
And evidently that picture was taken of the car. What was it? That night that it happened, right?
That night that it happened. He had already
And
been taken to the hospital and died.
right. And the car was still sitting at the place that it had stopped. And
Mhm.
they hadn't moved it yet. And they took a picture of the car.
Yep. So I'm assuming the little bit of light you see up here is probably still something coming from under the engine, but I imagine that whole front end is probably smashed in.
It probably is. I would say so.
So
A lot of light play though.
yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of light play, but seeing that, and then this one came in. Of course, obviously they superimposed this over wherever that's at there with that tree in the background came with it. But then I saw that part. That one right there hit me because the hairline is exactly the same. The nose is basically the same. The eyebrows are basically the same. And he looks like he's screaming. Did they catch him in just after crossing or just after he died and this is the pain that he's still feeling?
Or he could be just hovering there going, where's my body?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Right. He's trying to communicate with them and yelling, trying to get them to pay attention to him.
Possibly.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, I like the story because I believe like things like this can happen. I don't know if you can catch them on film, but I believe these type of things happen, especially when accidents happen so quickly that they have no time to process.
No.
So I do believe these things happen. That's why I love the story. I mean, not that the boy died or anything, but that these things do happen.
And once again, we saw it once early on. We dismissed it because we were sure it was just light play and somebody had caught a shaky photo at the car accident scene. And then when we found this other part of it, and I believe it was one of the listeners, one of the chat group that told us about it, and I went and looked it up and found it. And I was like, wow, this is a lot more in depth than I thought it was. So yeah, so that made what I say it was number 6.
Yep.
Well, let's see here. What shall I give you for number 5, huh? You think I should come up with something fun? Do you think I should come up with, because I'm actually going to do a quickie for number 5. Number 5.
I figured you already had them labeled and ready to go.
Well, I do, but I'm trying to be, I'm not going to play flashcards with you, okay? But, okay, so number 5, and this is an old one, an oldie but goodie, but it's still one of my favorites of all time, and it will always will be. Uh-oh, lost her.
We lost Brandi.
We lost her. Right as we get to my favorite one.
Oh, yeah.
That's my guy. I'm telling you, the Amityville Ghost Boy. This one will always be one of my favorites. It will always be one that I will sit there and argue with people about because I just don't believe at the time this was caught, I don't believe they had the true technology to create what was created here.
Yeah.
And even though the guy that caught it was quote unquote a news person / worked for the Warrens, he was their photographer or whatever the case might be.
Right.
They got credit for capturing it, obviously, because the guy was on there with them.
Right.
But I mean, to recreate that face and the eyes at their level, they don't have the special effects knowledge to do that to start with at that time. They didn't, especially. They could have sent it off, I guess, and had it done, but then it would have already leaked out a long time before now. That's my personal opinion on it. So, and then they had the one part where they kind of lighten it up, and then they bring in, and this is closer to the original photo right here. That's closer to the original, and then obviously blowing it up there. That boy really does kind of look like the kid.
Why is he wearing glasses, though?
I don't see the glasses. You're the second or third person that's told me you see glasses there, but I don't see glasses.
How can you not go back to that one you were just looking at? Well, that one too, but
where?
Blow it up.
This one?
Horn rimmed glasses all day long, right there.
I don't see horn rimmed glasses. I really don't. I see glowing eyes.
No, that's reflections. That's reflections in the glasses.
You think that's reflection in the glasses?
Yep. Because see, you had it right there. Move your mouse back over. Right there towards the edge of the glasses. That's the horn rim right there. And you can see the frames.
Okay. I can see where you can see that. I don't personally see it. I mean, I see what you could see as that, but I think I'm already predisposed to believe it that way too. So, because I mean, honestly, on the original, as you look at it, looks like a raccoon. Honestly,
yeah,
you got almost a bandit, Robin style mask going across the thing there. If you're looking at it at this level, so. I mean, but once again, we're talking about a time frame that this was the best you could get, Yeah. I know this says 76, but I thought they did their investigation before that. I'd have to look it up again, but it might have been 76, but with the equipment they had. So either way, that's my number 5. So let's see what we got for number 4. Number 4 might be a little more interesting. I was hoping to have Krista here for this one, or not Krista, but Brandi here for this one, because this is the one we would talk a little bit about every so often, because Krista was friends with the guy that took this one.
Yeah. Krista,
and this is Waverly Hills. Krista, because Krista was the one that was friends with the actual photographer. Let's see. Let me find it. Waverly Hills. Waverly Hills.
Brandy's back in chat, but
Tom Halstead. Tom Halstead was the guy that took the pictures, and he was part of the group. Some of the groups that Krista was with. Brandi could have just said, "Hey, I don't want to be with y'all no more," but no, she's got to ditch us and go run and hide. But like I said, this one was one we talked about a lot because she knew more about it than we did, and she told us in chat a little bit about it. And talking to Brandi and I mean, this was a great capture as well. And in fact, this was probably a better capture than even what the Amityville boy was, because if you look at it and you start doing the comparisons like they did with the Amityville boy, then you got this one. And it talks about, the photo and who the lady might have been, and gives you a picture to match up with.
Right.
I can see that real easy. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's easily what I say that number 4, number 5, number 4 is what I said for that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're down to the top 3.
We're down to the top 3 now, because this one, like I said, this one does not even, how can I put it? It does not, I won't say it won't crack, but it does not, my words are not coming to me right now for this one. You can't really fight it because it's so well known and such. You really don't want to fight it a whole lot. So, but anyway, that's easily my number 4. Okay. And I actually almost went a little higher with it, honestly. This one at number 3, though, is a relatively newer one, because we argued this one for a good, I would say we were probably on this castle for about 30 to 40 minutes. Easy. Now, this one was captured by people in Scotland. I believe this what the castle was. Let me look again to make sure, but this one was image of a figure period costume at a Scottish castle spooked the experts. It even made the actual news on CNN, had a write-up on it. North Berwick and Scotland's east coast is a Tantallon castle, and where it's at, there were no mannequins. There was nothing there to actually produce this image, and we looked at it for a while trying to figure out, is this here an actual, it looks like an older man with a beard looking down to me.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's got a thin mustache. I don't think that's a beard. I think it's one of those really collars.
The collars maybe like a guard of the time frame, maybe.
Well, more like like those big collars they used to wear, like in the Shakespearean days.
Yeah, and it could be. I mean, when I saw this first time, I thought beard, and then when you talk about collar, yeah, I can see like the Swiss Guard at the Vatican. You know, their frilly collars that they wear, something like that.
Yeah.
I could see that too. So, you said she was in chat. Where's she at in chat? Get your butt moving. Move it.
She was, and she just texted me. Everything crashed on her.
Tell her it's operator, headspace, and timing.
Even her tablet. She said even her tablet crashed.
She got some boogers. But anyway, yeah, I threw this one at number 3 because, like I said, we spent a good amount of time because we were looking at this side over here trying to see if we could see what they're seeing that into this. We were trying to figure out how did they get that to this. So that was the only gripe I had about it. There's a figure up there, yes, but the original photo, there's no way you could picture that up. So somebody had to do some creative editing, shall we say?
Yeah, they did some work on that for sure.
Yeah, but it was a good picture, and like I said, it got real big write-ups, and because I found the CNN story, and then I found the BBC story on it. So I was like, okay, somebody must have bought some really bought into it if they're going to cover it like they did. So that was my number 3. And number 2, this is one once again, we found on the show. We weren't planning on doing a whole lot, but we started with Gettysburg. And the more we did with Gettysburg, the more we played around with stuff. And I got to get back to where I'm supposed to be here. The more we played with it, we found a picture, a single picture, okay? And we put it up on our Visit to Gettysburg show.
Oh, yeah,
and this
I remember
is what
that
we found. Yeah, and this is what we were sitting there talking about. Oh, that looks like this. That looks like that. We're going back and forth. And what should we find out other than the fact that this is part of a video? And we're like, wait, this is part of a video? So I commenced to searching. I commenced to searching, and I searched and searched and searched. Found it mainly on TikTok, but there's a version out on YouTube as well. Y'all can go look for it yourselves out there. I'm going to pull this one down. I'm going to bring that video up so y'all can see this, because this was one of the better videos that I'd ever seen. And it was one of those that I was like, how did I ever miss this one when I'm searching? You know what I mean? Because it should have been easy. Of course, it's playing it wrong now. It's absolutely playing it wrong now. Let's see. Get out of the full screen mode here. Okay. There we go. It's up in the wrong damn app, so now I've got to fight it. God almighty. You know what? Sometimes I really do miss my actual second screen so I can work this stuff easier.
Well, I may get you one just so I don't have to hear you complain.
Oh, I've got one sitting over here. I just got this. This one was supposed to be, work with HDMI a lot better and all that jazz. And, it's one of those things like, yeah, and it's great for normal operations. But when I'm working the different videos and stuff, I have got to actually, get to it and do what I'm supposed to do with it. But now this is where I'm going to have to, jump in and say, okay, here we go again. I'm going to go full screen with it because that's the only way you can hear the video. Okay. All right. Full screen. Hear it. Here we go. Watch this, guys.
Watching.
Yep.
I don't see anything.
Not yet.
Except for me and you.
This establishes where they're actually setting up at by the 150th area.
Thought you were going to show the video.
I'm showing the video.
No, you're not.
It says I'm sharing it.
Well, it's not on the screen. I'm just telling you that's you and me.
Lord have mercy.
Now it's there.
That's what I don't get. See, now when I do this, now is it up there?
Yeah. I had to add it to the stage.
Oh, I didn't add it to the stage? Never mind. My bad. I thought it went up there. I thought I saw it up.
Rookie mistake.
Rookie. Oh, my God. Here we go. Stop interfering with the show.
All right, we're here in Gettysburg.
For y'all that don't know, that's what he used to say, tell Bob all the time.
150th. Where should I stop?
Just pull off here.
Want to try to film something here?
Yeah.
They said there's activity here before, but all right. So we're gonna sit here for a while and just kind of film the camera.
A lot of troops left from here.
See what happens.
And there goes the majority of ghost hunting right there.
Yeah.
By a ranger. Was it about in this area here, Jay, that the ranger said that there's been some activities. They heard some rumors about seeing some sightings of something that they can't explain.
There's a lot of troops that left over here, so the activity should be strong.
All right, we'll record for like maybe half an hour or so, and then we'll move our doubles down.
And
Maybe
usually that road is cut off at
good
night.
spot next.
So
and then we'll probably Pickett's charge.
Yeah, maybe we can pick up something from there.
Pickett's hard though, because I can't really. Unless we have flashlights, I guess I can shine it from the parking. From all right, that's all right. We'll videotape here for a while.
Okay.
Now, let's be quiet though, okay?
now they sat there like that for 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Down by the canyon, you see that?
Oh, what is that?
Wait, shh. Oh my God. Is it?
No way. What is that?
I have no friggin' idea.
Did you get that on the camera?
It's recording.
Oh my gosh! Did you see that?
Did you honestly?
I wouldn't believe it unless we recorded it.
And I'm glad they did record it because that added a lot to even the photo right there.
You know, I think that's probably, yeah, I can see why you rated it as top as high as you did, because that's one of the most amazing videos I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, and the more I've gone over it, and I put it on my Adobe and stuff like that, the Photoshop and the Premiere to actually kind of see, I cannot find where it was interlaced in. I can't see any telltale signs of it. These guys, and they legitimately reacted to it, so they physically saw it at the same time.
Right.
So it didn't sound like they were faking it, so I don't know. That was one of those, like I said, that was one of my favorites. I mean, that one caught us so off guard. We did 2 shows just on Gettysburg because of that.
Right.
So obviously that's one of the fun ones, but now we're going to go back one more time. We're going to go back to my number 1, and we found this one by accident. 100% by accident. And this one, I'm going to bring up this first, the pictures, and then we'll go to the file after that, or go to the actual video. This one was from England. Now, you remember us going over this one. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As obviously this was called Skeletor. That was the nickname they gave this thing early on, But
Right.
late 2003, alarm at this at the Hampton Court Palace went off. It indicated motion. The fire doors blew open, and you see what you see as far as what we got right here, right?
Right.
We looked at it. We looked at it originally, and we were like, "Oh wow, that could be just somebody doing it." We thought, okay, they just caught this one. Why don't we have anything else if it's if it's CCTV. Well,
Right.
I did a little digging, found a second picture that was different from the first. And I was like, well, I'll be dadgum. That's wild. That's 100% wild. I couldn't believe this. There's absolutely, I'm wondering myself, since 2003, how did I not see this or hear this before? Never heard of it. But then, after all that fun and jazz, I went out and I actually found the actual video. I found the actual video, and it went something like this. I just cannot believe I never saw this before trying to look it up for that one photo. And it led me on a whole rabbit hole going down and just trying to say, what the heck is this crud going on here? Found out the people that work, there was an actual camera on the back side of this door facing toward the door. Never showed anything. Showed the doors open and closing. Never showed that particular thing, shall we say. That entity. Never showed it. So I'm like, that just oomped a whole bunch up. It made everything even more. I'm like, this guy looks almost like he's in period clothing. We discussed it. Is that a robe? Is that regal type attire for the time frame? Is he kicking out there trying to scare something off or yell at the peasants or servants in the courtyard? What's he doing? He didn't look happy.
No,
he did not look happy. So I mean, that was a wild one. And yes, that one is my number one for our show. Okay. There are others out there, and there was more I could have done with this, but that was definitely, as far as what we've had on this show, my number one.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. It's pretty phenomenal.
And I don't know how we'd ever top it. Honestly, I definitely couldn't debunk it. There's no way.
Yeah.
I've never been able to debunk.
I would have liked to see the footage from the camera on the inside though.
That was the only thing I could not get anything to happen with, because I wanted that.
Right.
I wanted that to happen, but yeah, that didn't work out good for me. So I was like, crap. But the way I understood it, that footage from the inside is, unless there's something they need to keep, is destroyed monthly. So it just rotated over unless they have to go, kind of like what you do in the bars. You let the bar stuff run. If it runs out of space, you just let it keep going. So unless there's something you need to grab. So, but outside of that, I mean, that's me. That's it for me. That's all I got. Because it was, I was sitting there today, and today I was like, oh crap, I got to pull something together. It was late yesterday or whatever. And I was talking, and my wife's like, why don't you do a top 10? It's like, hey, that's a good idea. Let me go back and do this real quick. Did not realize how long it's going to take me to set this up either. I mean, I was just going to go right down the line, but I actually wanted to do them in order. So I changed things around to do them in order there at the last second. So, because I mean, everybody's seen the Amityville boy, and most people have seen the girl, the Waverly Hills girl. But there's a few in there, and everybody's seen Freeman, but there's a few in there that are out there, but haven't been discussed as much as we've discussed them on here. So, So, but, well, that was fun. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it.
No problem.
He's sitting there laughing at me. Listen to him, guys. He's laughing at me. And we lost Brandi.
Yeah, we did.
No pigtails to pull on. So, yeah.
Where's the fun in that, right?
Yeah, no kidding. If she ain't here to pick on, there ain't no fun at all. But it's all good. Well, guys, appreciate it. We'll see you. Who you got tomorrow night?
Ryan Edwards. It's
Ryan Edwards
Cinco de Direwolf tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. That sounds cool. I'll be probably listening in depending on what time I get home, that is. Gotta love it. Construction and DFW area. Have fun.
Hey, I'll be in it too.
Yep. So, all right, guys. Well, y'all have fun. We'll see you next week and have a blast.